Hey sisters, it's me, Jennifer Jayde. I just wanted to pop in here. This is a totally impromptu Facebook Live. I didn't realize I was going to be coming on here and talking about this message today, but it's really been wanting to come through, and I thought it was for one person in particular. So out of nowhere, I was private messaging them, and then I realized I don't think it's directed at the one person. I think it's something I'm supposed to come on here and share with you. So let me know in the comments below if what I'm about to say resonates with you, and say hi if you're watching the replay. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you're watching the replay. So this is for anyone who is feeling like they are struggling where finances are concerned. So you're feeling like you don't have enough money, that you never have enough money, that you wish you had more money. If any of these sound familiar, please stick around for the next few minutes. I'm going to make this relatively quick because I have lunch waiting for me, but this message just really wants to come out. So how I realized this, other than wherever it's bubbling up from today, is I used to be part of this network marketing company, and they would share the success stories of the people who are doing really, really well in their business, and they would parade them up across the stage and tell us their story. And every single time, pretty much almost every single time, the people that were coming up there with the biggest success stories, like the way that they grew their business and their dreams, and usually in a relatively short amount of time, was because they started from a place of absolute desperation, like weren't sure how they were going to feed their kids, weren't sure how they were going to keep rent, coming in and being able to put a roof over the head of themselves and their children. Like the worst kind of like motivation you could ever have. That's what they had, and it lit this massive fire under their ass. I remember one person sold their refrigerator in order to buy into the product of this particular network marketing company, and had become a millionaire in, I think, a matter of a few years. So I thought, what is it? What is it about these people who, started from being super broke and super desperate to becoming, wealthy and creating their dreams, and why do they have that in common? Why is that a recurring theme? It's just something that I always kind of wondered in the back of my mind. And then even people I really look up to. So I love Lisa Nichols. If you're not familiar with Lisa Nichols, she is great. You can watch a YouTube video of her on the Steve Harvey Show. You can hear her story. If you have an opportunity to see her speak in person, I think she's one of the most talented, energetic, motivational, inspirational speakers I've ever seen walk a stage, Lisa Nichols. But same thing, one of her stories is that she went to go get money out of the ATM to buy diapers for her son, and she couldn't get any money out of the ATM because she didn't even have $20 in her bank account. So she couldn't even buy diapers for her son. And that was her low. That was her, she took her baby home, and I don't know if she used a cloth or what, but she said that this would never happen again, and that she would do whatever she needed to do, move any mountain. I'm getting goosebumps talking. Move any mountain she needed to move, that he would be well looked after and taken care of for the rest of his life, and he'd never have to worry. So anyways, all these inspirational stories, right, starting from desperation. And it dawned on me recently, one of those times when I wasn't trying to figure it out, how that sometimes when the answers come to you is when you're not actually thinking about them. And it dawned on me that they finally were willing to do what it takes to be in alignment with what their soul is guiding them to do. They were finally motivated to the place where they put their fear aside and they just went for it. One thing that's coming up to me right now is probably because I just read Lamar Odom's article he wrote about hitting rock bottom. And I have experience with addiction in my family and people that I know as well. And so I am familiar with the idea of rock bottom and how that lowest point, when they hit that point, it's almost like they have to hit that point before they're motivated to actually do something about it, to get help, to make a change, to give up something they're super, super addicted to, and go down this path of fear and unknown and uncertainty in order to get to the life they actually do want to have now. They're willing to do that. They've hit rock bottom. They are not willing to go any further down. And so when I named this video, one of the most powerful coaches you never knew you had, and it's a free coach, is money. So the universe is always working to our benefit, always working to our benefit, always working to our benefit. Whether or not your mind would agree with that or your ego would agree with that, anything that's happened to you is happening for you. So if money is tight, if funds are tight, if you're struggling, if you're worried about money and income, great. This means you're being supported by the universe. And what I want to say today, or what I'm feeling really called to share today, is that don't let it get any worse than it needs to be. If you can stop yourself from having to hit rock bottom, like, you don't have to get to that place where you don't know where rent's coming from next month if you're not already there. You don't have to worry about how you're going to pay for diapers for your baby. You don't have to get to the place where you're not sure where food is going to come from next month. You don't have to get to that place in order to get into alignment with what you're really meant to be doing. So the universe, your guides, angels, they know that human beings have quite an attachment to money. We have quite a story around money, and money is a big motivator for most human beings. So it uses that to your advantage to help you get onto your highest and best path for your life, to get in alignment with what you're meant to be doing. And not in a way that you're doing it just for the money, but you're doing something that elevates you outside of your comfort zone. So, getting to this place of being super uncomfortable, that you will do anything to get out of this place of being super uncomfortable. You will face your fears. You will feel the fear and do it anyway. You will, hire that mentor or do that program or buy into this network marketing company if that's what's, calling to you. You will do these things. Maybe it has to come from a place of desperation, but in the end, it is to your advantage. The universe is guiding you, and it's using money as a coach in your life. So I have a couple of questions for you. If money were your coach, what would it be telling you right now? What would it be saying to you? What would it be inviting you to step into? If money were your coach, if money were a person, and you think about your finances right now, what would money be inviting you to step into? I have another question for you. What would you be willing to do to not have to worry about money ever again? What would you be willing to do to never have to worry about money ever again? Would you be willing to face your fears? Would you be willing to trust your intuition and no longer let ego lead the way? Would you be willing to take a leap without knowing if the net is going to appear? Without knowing if you're about to fall or fly? Would you take a leap? A wild leap of trust. Money is being utilized by the universe as your coach. So I really invite you to take a few moments, whether it's just right now or with a journal, and just ask yourself, if money were my coach, what would it be saying to me? What is the universe trying to direct me to do through money? And you don't have to wait till you get to this desperate bottom, breaking point before you finally get the fire and the passion to do something about it. Often, if we're in lack and scarcity with funds, with money, it's because we've got to change some things. So maybe we've got to work on our mindset, our relationship, our past stories around money. Maybe we have this belief in hard work, and we can really work on letting go of that belief. We can press stop on that tape if it's not serving us. Maybe it's that money is scarce and that there isn't enough to go around. Maybe we need to work on these stories. Maybe your mindset and your energy around money is what the universe is guiding you to heal. Maybe you're doing something in exchange, this currency exchange, that is not in service of you, that is not in alignment with your soul. And so the universe is somewhat strangulating the flow of funds to you so that you will start to think outside of the box. You will start to be promoted into what you really should be doing with your life. I don't want to say should, but what you are really meant to be doing with your life. Something that feels meaningful and powerful and in alignment with you. I'm going to have a quick peek. Oh, here's Brittany. Oh, you love Lisa Nichols. Hi, Brittany. I love her too. Hi, Nisha. Oh, I love it. Hi, Tammy. Yay. Okay, so I'm just going to wind up here. Oh, 11:11. Just saw 11:11. That's cool. I'm just going to wind up here with a quick summary for anyone that just hopped on. But basically, I was saying that I've realized a pattern in my life where a lot of the success stories, a lot of the people I look up to and admire started from a place of rock bottom, started from a place of, crazy amounts of desperation and, to the point of not knowing how they were going to purchase diapers for their baby, like literally couldn't get the money out of the ATM because they didn't have the $20 minimum to get out. I saw one woman who sold her refrigerator. She was a mother, sold her refrigerator so that she could buy into the network marketing company that she wanted to be a part of. She felt very called to be a part of. People who don't know how they're going to make rent, people who don't know how they're going to put food on the table, going from that to, millionaire, in a relatively short amount of time. And I thought, what is it about these people? Why is it that these success stories that I'm coming across came from this absolute rock bottom, like scary place? And it dawned on me recently, and I just really had to share this with you, is that the universe is always guiding us, always, always, always guiding us, always guiding us. Whatever is happening to you is happening for you. So if you're experiencing a lack of funds, a lack of currency, a lack of money, a lack of income, it is to your benefit. The universe is promoting you, is saying, hey, you can do something more with your life. You can do something more meaningful, more purposeful, more passionate, more exciting, more freeing. And you don't have to let yourself get to rock bottom before you start taking action in a way that feels strong and powerful and alignment for you. You don't have to get to the point. The guidance is coming to you now just through the numbers in your bank account or the number on your credit card statement, and you don't have to get to the point of absolute rock bottom desperation. You don't have to let it get that far. You can feel the fear and do it anyway starting now. You can do what feels nervous but exciting starting now. You can make that investment into yourself, not knowing how you're going to pay for it, not knowing how you're going to make the payment next month or the month after that, but something in your soul is saying, Jen, you need to do this. Girl, this is going to help you. Trust me. Trust your intuition. Listen, listen, listen. So many times I have made investments and had no idea how I was going to pay for them. With my life coach, oh my gosh, my first life coach, I almost hung up on him when he told me how much I'd have to invest a month into working with him. And he asked me one question. This is what he said. Jen, do you think that you are going to get where you want to be if you continue to make decisions based on where you're at? Woof. I get goosebumps all down my body every time I remember that moment, because that was a pivotal moment in my life. That moment, that question changed. I was going down this path, and that question, like this, because it was that question that I was like, James, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this, but I must work with you. Everything in my body is saying yes, even though my mind is like doing everything in its power to talk me out of this and tell me I can't do this and I don't know how I'm going to pay for this and all of the biggest fears and I don't have time and all those things. But something down here is saying yes, 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 yes. And it's a loving, gentle, nurturing yes. Anything that is not loving, anything that is derogatory or negative or scared is not real. That is your ego. That's the inner critic. So drop down from your head into your heart. Ask for guidance. Anything that's sparking any kind of inspiration in you or intrigue or fascination or even a soft, subtle, yes, do this. Listen to that. It's guiding you there for a reason. You don't have to know how you're going to pay for it, how it's going to work out, if it's going to work, if you're going to have time, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. For as long as you allow this to lead you, you will stay where you're at right now. If you continue to do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always had. So if it's time to do something different, drop down from here to here, listen to it, follow its guidance, and trust that the way will be made. When you take action on step 1, which is saying yes, when you take action on that, step 2 will then be revealed to you. When you take action on step 2, step 3 will then be revealed to you. When you take action on step 3, step 4 will then be revealed to you. But if you stay here and say to yourself, I can't move forward with this because I don't know how it's going to work, how I'm going to pay for it, if I'm going to like it, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you're going to stay on step 1 forever. You will stay in the same spot forever. You have to move forward and trust one step at a time. Okay, I think that is the end of the transmission. I hope that served you. I hope that was meant for you. Please let me know in the comments if this was something that you needed to hear today, if this is something that served you today. Tell me what your takeaway was. I would love to hear that because I don't know what it was, but this was like my whole day today, all morning was like just like, you know, when something just wants to come out, that's what it was. So I trust that it was meant for at least one person watching. I hope it was you. Let me know in the comments and I will talk to you soon. I'm going to have a quick peek here. Yay, Beth Joy, Tammy Chambers. Oh, you have goosebumps too. Yeah, Tammy, if that's when I was that question, very powerful. Samantha. Yay, Samantha. Okay, good. This message was for you. I'm so happy you heard it. Yeah, I hear you, Brittany. Yeah. So, Brittany Hammond, this makes so much sense to me. Yay, Brittany. I feel like you're speaking directly to me. Cool. It can feel counterintuitive at times if you're not yet quite 100% clear on which voice is your intuition and which voice is your head. So, for example, in the end of 2015, I was investing in my first business coach. So I already shared about my first life coach and that I almost hung up on him when he told me what the monthly investment would be. And then he asked me that really powerful question, Jen, do you think you're going to get to where you want to be if you continue to make decisions based on where you're at? And that's when I knew I had to move forward. I had to trust and move forward. And I did. Then a few months later, when I was very clear on my purpose and the work I wanted to do in the world and the transition I was going to be making out of what I thought was going to be my lifetime dream business of destination wedding photography into this work, I hired a business coach, a very high-level business coach. The investment was 30 grand. I didn't have 30 grand. I didn't even have any of that. And even though for someone with a background in finance and who used to be a mortgage broker and used to always give these spiels about protecting your credit score and all these things and not having consumer debt, I went into 30 grand of debt to work with this person because something not here but down here said do it. Yes. Yep, it's a yes. So up here was like the screaming. If you think of an ocean, Up here was kind of like the crazy waves, like, what are you doing? This is bad. But, and this is where most people get tossed around and lost, is up here. This is where most people live their life, is up here. But if you can start to tune in from here to down here and just ask, is this right for me? Is this in alignment with my purpose, with my passion, with my mission in this life? If I were to die 6 months from now, would I be happy that I did this or happier that I didn't do this? Is this weak Jen making this decision or strong Jen making this decision? Who's in the driver's seat right now? And I remember the moments very well when I had to max, and again, this is not me going on a spiel that everyone should max out their credit cards and everyone should do what I did. I'm just sharing what my path unfolded like. I was maxing out a credit card. I got a new line of credit, maxed that out. And this was so backwards from what I was taught and trained to do. My dad even refuses to have a credit card, period. And there was something in those moments where I just knew this was right for me. I just knew it. And even though the waves and the crap was going on up here, I was down here. I was living down here. And I just trusted. I trusted. So I went for it. And every decision that I've made from here has been life-altering. Every decision that I've made from here when I did not know how I was going to pay for it, if it was going to work, if I was going to like it, if anyone was going to hire me, if this was going to make me money or not, I trusted, and it has always been the right decision for me. Every single time it has worked out in my favor. Every time I make a fear-based decision from here, I end up with regret. Every time I end up with regret. I know there are no mistakes. I know that everything's working out in my favor, but I know that you can be on your highest life path, you can be on a medium life path, or you can be on a low life path. If everything is feeling hard, if it's feeling draining, and you're feeling tired and depleted and uninspired, then you might be on one of your lower possible life paths. If you're kind of in the middle, you might be up here. And if you're on your highest life path, this is where we have ease. This is where we attract the things that we want. We're living in joy as much as possible. We're trusting our intuition. We are on the path of least resistance, and we don't require to know all of the answers in advance. If you require to know all of the answers in advance, this is going to bump you down to a lower life path because you're not trusting the universe. You're not moving in flow with the universe. So move into this place of trust and take action on that, and trust that when you do take action on step 1, step 2 will be revealed. And when you take action on step 2, step 3 will be revealed. That's how you can be on your highest life path. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on that. Oh, wow. Yay, Michelle. Hi, Michelle Arnold. Courtney. Oh, good. Oh, my gosh. Amy just joined. Tammy. Okay, this is awesome. I paid for my first coaching program with credit, and it was the best choice I've made in a long time. Thank you for sharing that, Beth Joy. Honestly, isn't it strange that we will, without question, buy something for someone else? You know, whether it's our kids or our spouse or a friend, we'll just whip out the credit card, or, you know, whatever it is, or if something's on sale. But when it comes to really investing in our dreams and in our truth, and in our power, and in our purpose fulfillment, and whatever it's going to take for us to get there, then the mind starts going crazy, the ego starts going crazy. And that is an actual real pattern that I've experienced in my life. So as I've been taking steps towards something that actually serves me and grows me and expands me as a human being and as a soul fulfilling my purpose, the louder my head gets, the more I know I'm on the right path. The louder my head, my ego, my inner critic has been astronomical right before I did something massively to my benefit, So when I was leaving my 9-to-5 in finance, I had never felt that kind of paralyzing fear as when I was leaving my what had become a cushy mortgage business, you know, I had a good idea of my income coming in. I was making great money for someone in their early to mid 20s, coming from a background of not having much. This was very different for me. I had the house, the car, the different things, but I was not happy. I was not fulfilled. I was not in alignment, and I couldn't buy that. I couldn't buy it with travel. I couldn't buy it with trips or anything like that. So I knew that I had to move on to something that would fill that void here. And man, that was some paralyzing fear that I had to move through to come out to the other side and create my dream destination wedding photography business. I had never known such exhilaration as when I became a full-time destination wedding photographer. I had never felt so free in my life. I was in disbelief that people were paying me to take pictures, that they were paying for my flights to go to the Caribbean, to Australia, to Hawaii. I could not believe it. I could not believe this was real. I couldn't believe I was winning awards. I'd never won awards before. I'd never been good at really anything. I was just kind of decent at a lot of things, but never really good at something. I couldn't believe it. So I went from the most paralyzing fear to the most exhilaration I'd ever known, that more than I'd ever believed was possible for me. Then when I got the tap, tap, tap on the shoulder that it was time to move on from photography, I was not pleased because I didn't want to go through this transition yet again. But that's what was on my path. So that's what happened. And I hired a coach to help me through the transition, the one I've already mentioned. And as I was developing my first group program, my first ever group program, which was the spring of 2016, so not that long ago, I again was facing the loudest voices I'd ever heard in my head saying, Jen, what are you doing? You can't host a group program. People are going to call you out as a fraud. They're going to know that you're not actually good at what you do, and they're going to spread it all over social media, and you're going to be over, you're going to be done for, and do not do this group program. It's going to be the end of you. Like, the worst possible, like, crippling thoughts right before I was starting my own. I cried. I cried to my coach. I wanted to throw in the towel. I thought I was doing the wrong thing. And thank God I had a coach who talked me out of, because I was getting tossed around up here. Remember these waves? You think about a stormy ocean. I was getting tossed around, tossed around. I needed to come back down to here. I needed to come back down to here. And I did. The voices didn't disappear, but they were up here, and I wasn't listening to them anymore. I was here. And I started my group program. I did the very first live call, which I was terrified to do, to be coaching people in a group in front of an audience of, you know, the other members, and what they would think of me and if I'd be able to do it or not. Usually I have an hour to coach someone. Now I'd have about 10 minutes. What, can I do that? Can I live up to that? These people have already paid me. That first call of my first ever group program, I had chills up and down my body for 2 straight hours. I think the call lasted 3.5 hours, because all of us were just vibing, introducing each other, getting to know each other, and we couldn't believe what we had in common. We were bonding. And I couldn't believe that I was bringing these women together. Like, it was one of the most fulfilling feelings I've ever felt. And yet right before that, I was petrified, crying, wanting to quit, wanting to throw in the towel. So again, it was this, went from this loud, like, debilitating nearly thoughts to my greatest sense of fulfillment, joy, purpose, exhilaration. So for anyone listening, if there's something on your heart to do and you're feeling a lot of, oh, I should not be spending that money right now. I shouldn't be doing this. That's selfish. I should be saving. I should be putting that towards the kids. I'm a terrible mom if I invest in myself. I don't have time for this right now. Maybe next year, maybe another year. Guess what? There may not be another year. There may not be a next year. My life coach that I mentioned, the first one, the one who asked me that life-altering question where I was going down a path like this, and then he asked me this question, and my path has been like this ever since. And he said, Jen, do you think you're going to get to where you want to be if you continue to make decisions based on where you're at? it was the most life transformative question I've ever been asked. And that coach, he was amazing. His name was James Butler. He ended up passing away a couple of weeks ago. He was 28 years old. So I beg of you, not for my benefit, but for yours and for the world that's waiting for you to step into your power, to shine, to get over your bullshit, put it over to the side, and really tune into who you are, the truth of who you are, the power that's inside of you flowing, that's aching to come out of you and out into the world. I'm begging you, don't let it get any worse. Don't let the universe have to make it more desperate of a situation for you before you finally put the fear to the side and move forward with what is actually truly going to bring you exhilaration, joy, purpose, passion, fulfillment. Everything that you want is on the other side of all this. So it's not about waiting for all this to go away or all of this to calm down or all of the fears and thoughts to be gone. It's about understanding that the top of the ocean is always going to have waves and ripples. That's just the way it is. But you don't have to live from that space. You can live from here. When you live from here, that is a fulfilling life. That is a purposeful life. That is a happy, joyful, meaningful life worth living. And the sooner you will drop down from here to here, the more life you will have left in your years. Does that make sense? We're here for a finite amount of time, and we don't need to waste it overanalyzing, second guessing, judging ourselves, condemning ourselves. We don't have to live that way. You can choose today, as a matter of fact. You can choose right now, whatever tapes are playing in your head, the tape of I'm not good enough, or I need to work harder, or I don't have enough money, or I need to wait till I'm thinner, prettier, richer, have more time. Any of these tapes that are playing, you can choose in this moment to press stop. Let's do it together. In this moment, think of the tapes that are no longer serving you. Take your finger, press stop. How does that feel? If you want to go one step further, not only press stop, find a bat in your mind's eye, smash the shit out of that tape so that it never starts playing again. Out of the whole, anyone here that was around when there was actual like tape recorders and cassette tapes, start smashing the shit out of that, rip the tape out of it. You don't need to listen to that anymore. It's not serving you. It's not real. Smash it up, let it go. If you're from the CDs, I mean, I tapes when I was little, CDs when I was, teenager. You can crack that, smash that up, throw it away. Okay, you don't need it. It's not serving you. What is going to serve you now? What is one thing you could do today is in favor of what your soul has been guiding you to do and asking you to do and asking you to trust it? Without knowing how it's going to pan out, without knowing how you're going to pay for it, without knowing if you're going to have enough time for it, without knowing if it's going to work, without knowing if it's going to make you money or any of those things, just trusting step one and taking action on step one for one reason and one reason only. You trust your inner guide, and that is it. You don't need to know anything else above that. Oh my Lord. I think this is the most comments I've ever had in my life on a Facebook Live. Yes, ego does that too. Yes. Oh, Michelle, thank you for sharing this. 27 years old at the time, taking my last $500 from my entire savings. I'm so glad I did. Hiring your first coach. Wow, that's powerful. That $500 is just a down payment. Yeah. Scared about coaching live in front of a group. Me too. Thank you, Brittany. Good girl. Working up the courage. That's awesome. I needed to hear this, Jen. The timing is astronomical. Wow, Samantha, thank you for telling me that. Tanya was totally meant to see this today. Wow. Oh my gosh, I needed this from Amy. I'm crying, holy moly. Oh, Samantha. Oh, wow. Just get out there. Doesn't need to be perfect. Tanya, trust my message and trust the universe will see me through. Yes. Oh, it's making me cry. Okay. Wow, I don't know what happened today, ladies, but I wasn't planning this Facebook Live. But I'm glad that I listened. And, you know, and I had voices too, just doing this Facebook Live, like, oh, like, my makeup's not done, my hair's not done, like, I just got out of the shower, you know, I didn't plan this, you know, these thoughts, like, they don't go away, they're never gone. And when the only thing that I've learned is to never wait for them to be gone. If we wait for those little voices to be gone before we take any action, we will be waiting for the rest of our lives. We will be waiting. I can guarantee, there's one thing I know for sure. If we wait until we feel good, till it's the right time, till we have enough money, till we know all the answers, till we're not scared anymore, we will be waiting for the rest of our lives. We will be in this perpetual state of waiting for the rest of our lives. So what I've learned to do, and we've heard this many times, is feel the fear and do it anyway. Or allow the voices to be there, but don't let them rule your life. Don't let them in the driver's seat of your car. They can be in the passenger or the back seat, but put this in the front seat, in the driver's seat. Trust it, trust it, trust it, trust it, trust it. Ah. I'm so thankful for you. I'm so thankful you're here. I don't know what's happening. Wow, we're 36 minutes in. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for commenting. I appreciate the love that you're sharing, the emoticons. Thank you for sharing this energy with me. We were vibing today, weren't we? Back and forth. Thank you for being here. I'm going to do another one of these again soon because that was too much fun. So thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Keep asking questions. I'll come back into the thread. If you have any questions or comments, keep posting them. I love it, and I will reply. And if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. I'll talk to you soon.